I mean, Rockfield is a great place to always come back to, since it's going to be this is the third album we actually recorded here since the past, what is it, 10, 12 years? And it's always a blast, you know. It's a very nice location, and the staff, I mean, they're taking care of us. They're feeders as well. They serve us 3 meals every day. Dessert, got to get back into shape soon.
Yeah.
But and it's so good, you know, recording here because it's very calm. It's not this kind of, oh, you think about all these famous acts who's been recording like in the history of music, like very, very renowned albums, and you don't see any gold records hanging on the walls. It's a farm, basically. So it's very nice, calm environment, and you can just focus on the music.
To be like in landscape, I mean, outside from the city, that's a plus for me. Being surrounded by nature, animals, no distractions, it's a great place to be, to create music and record like a peaceful way. You know, I love it. It feels to be home. So, yeah.
This is the first residential studio in the world. It's set in the countryside, just outside of Monmouth. It's peace and quiet. It's a great studio, but we didn't really, I mean, we picked it partly because the abundance of legendary records that have been recorded in this place. It's got 2 studios. It's got the old one, which is called the Coach House, and it's got this one that we're in right now, which is called the Quadrangle Studio. And this is the newer one of the 2, built in 73, around there, where Queen recorded Bohemian Rhapsody, Killer Queen, and legendary records. Rush, Hemispheres, and Farewell to Kings was done here. So, I mean, we love the technical aspect of it. It's working, you know, everything's working. But it's really that it's set in the countryside, and the fact that we are, everybody's got their own room. We eat dinner together. We are always together here, which I think is, we done it both ways. We recorded back home in Stockholm, where everybody goes home after the session. But here it's like you kind of immerse yourself in the record a bit more, because there's literally nothing else to do apart from going down to the pub in Monmouth, which we also do, of course. But we hang out, kind of bond, that type of thing. So, I mean, it was just a good match. Stefan, our engineer, who's with us, he owns Atlantis Studio in Stockholm, the old Metronome Studios, ABBA, where we recorded Heritage. Lovely studio, but it's in the heart of Stockholm, so you kind of lose track of what you're doing a little bit when you're done for the day going home. Here it's like I said, you immerse yourself in the recording a bit more, which I think it's always been a positive experience to work like that, and that's why we're here again.
I've actually never been here before. I've been to a couple of other studios where you can stay at, but I have to say this is probably my favorite studio like this, because it's quite easy to get inside the recording bubble, which is sort of what you want. Not much distractions, and everyone's like 100% focused on the recording. It's all you think about. Because, I mean, you have dinner and you sort of talk about the record, not all the time, but it's always there. It's like no distractions and not having to worry about picking up kids or groceries. It's just like somebody serves you a meal and it's like, oh, okay, nice, dinner. Okay, back to focus.
I love it here. It's our 3rd time, apparently. And it's been quite some time, but everything is pretty much the same. Apart from this time around, we got to record in the other studio, the bigger one. It was built in the 70s, which I really enjoyed. But it's still family run, and they're super nice, and we get spoiled there. We get so well taken care of, and I don't know how it's going to get back to a normal life when I get back home. I have to do cooking and do what you do in your normal life, you know. And also just the scenery. When I look out my window every morning, you see sheep, horses, and all the moors. And it's just a very peaceful and relaxing environments to be in. It makes you focus on the actual recording more, I think, as well.
This particular studio has so much history as well. And I like to think that you can almost feel the magic in the air, you know. So, yeah, it's a really nice studio, being in a really nice place. I think it makes it like a really magic place to be.
I don't think it could be any better than this. Just look at the scenery, and yeah, we've been here for nearly 3 weeks now, and it's nice to have the peace, and it's also been great that the whole band has been here for the duration of the recording, and that also helps to get the band vibe saved on the record, I think. And yeah, it's been fantastic.
A lot of things are different. We have a new drummer, and but most of all, the music Mikael's written is. I got really floored when I heard each song one after another, and they're so complex. But also the Growls are back, which is the 4 previous albums. That ingredients hasn't been there, but it still has the prog, and it's quite a unique mixture of music, I think.
I think it's easily distinguishable as Opeth record. Bit heavier, I guess. Bit more crazy. It's a very restless record. You know, there's so much stuff happening. Even I don't really comprehend the whole thing right now. But I wrote it like with the mind of a modern teenager on TikTok, kind of. It was just like shorts, you know, just like that type of thing. There's no peace and quiet on this record until the very last song. So up until then, it's just explosion of things, you know, which might be too much for some people. For me, it was like perfect for some reason. I'm not a restless person when I listen to music. I can sit and listen to drones for hours, if you know. But I get restless with my own ideas, and I, instead of kind of pushing that away, I kind of embraced that restlessness in a way, and that resulted in this record. So it's a fireworks of ideas, and in my opinion, it's interest. It's people probably say it's too much, but in my head, it's interesting for being us.
Every Opeth album is almost different from the previous one. That's something that I think we try always to do, and now I think everything kind of gets together in this album in a way.
I do a lot, even more than I have done before, I would say. And one thing that also differs is that I've been recording, like, I would say 95% of everything that I'm supposed to do in Stockholm in my studio. So I've been doing all the Hammond organs, the A100 Hammond organs, and Fender Rhodes piano, even Wurlitzer, even though I don't think we're going to use that on the album. And I was recording the real tape frame Mellotrons in with Mikael in his studio. So I've been on it since like the beginning of November, really. And so when we came here, like roughly 3 weeks ago, the only thing I had to do was play the grand piano, the very renowned Freddie Mercury, Queen's piano, the Bösendorfer extra octaves, wide. And I think I was done in like an afternoon. It's not too bad. You're just working for 4 hours in 3 weeks' time.
Also, the sound we've been managed to get is really earthy and powerful. And I think it's so far, I mean, the album is not mixed yet, but it feels like when we listen today, I got goosebumps because everything, there's so much stuff in there. Ian Anderson, which is fantastic as a guest, spoken word, and also plays the flute. Joe Tempest from Europe is in that track. And also live strings. Today I heard them. They really fit in the frame of the sound and landscape of this album. And it's really looking forward to the results.
I mean, practicing these songs was already great fun and very big challenge because, I mean, each song when I first heard it, at first I thought like, how am I able to play this? Because there's lots of details going on and it's very complex stuff, but also felt super excited at the same time because I knew I had time to practice these songs in peace. And I felt like during the process of practicing these songs I evolved as drummer probably more than ever, I would say. And it's very inspiring for me.
It's always like when you do the new albums, always you feel it's the best. But I really feel this album is very strong in the sense that every song is so good, in my opinion. So that's what I think today, at least. But yeah, I love it.
We did the last record together. We're friends. I mean, we connected during the recording of the last record and became friends. So me and my girlfriend, we have dinner with him and his wife, and he's thorough. He worked at Polar Studios, the ABBA studio, when that was around, and now he's part owner of the old ABBA studio. He knows his shit. Besides, I'm so involved in each step of the recording that all I need is somebody who knows their shit. As far as I'm concerned, it's going to sound a bit narcissistic or something, but like I don't want people to tell me what we should do. I want it the other way around. Like we employ these people. It's great if they have great ideas. I will always listen, of course, But generally, like, I make such a thorough demo of the record that I kind of know what I'm after. I don't want anyone to come in and cloud that idea.
The album we did before, that was the first time I worked with Opeth. So this time, I mean, obviously knowing the guys much better has been a big advantage. And also I got in a bit earlier on the process, so I actually heard demos really early on and could start to think about like, oh, maybe we should do it like this and have this sort of sound. So me and Mike, because we have dinners every once in a while, so we actually spoke quite a bit before this recording. So we had a pretty clear idea what to do when we came here. So I was more prepared before this one. So I think it actually made a difference.
I don't do research on people. I want to work with them. So just because somebody's a hot name in the scene I'm not interested. And I'm not interested in their other productions, their other records. I don't go like, I want us to sound like this record. And we do our own records. So your previous history, as far as I'm concerned, as a producer, engineer, mastering, whatever, it doesn't mean anything to me. I love a great lyric. I've never been able to write contemporary lyrics that well. You know, stuff that deal with my own life. It always comes out a bit silly. So I kind of mix up dreams and ideas with poetry. That's what I've done before. Nice lines is without meaning is still a nice line as far as I'm concerned. Rolls off the tongue, that's good enough. But lately I kind of, put more of an effort into lyrics.
Nowadays everything is so like singles oriented, and I think a lot of people are missing out on the bigger picture, because with like a concept album you could actually take people to a certain place which might not be like a hit song, but it will also like put you in a different mood before going into another song. So I mean, just the cinematics of the connectivity of different songs to me is quite interesting, and also being able to tell a longer story.
Actually, when we did the last record, there was I tried to get like sound clips, spoken word things from an interview that I saw on TV about a family strife relating to a father dying, and there was, his testament. There were the brothers and sisters and siblings and cousins. Everybody started fighting about the inheritance, basically. Which I found interesting. I didn't get the rights to use those clips, but it kind of lingered since. So that was kind of, I think, the starting point for me thinking about lyrics for this record. And also, I have to say, even if it sounds cheesy, the series Succession. I watched that, loved that, like pretty much everyone I talked to. That whole idea is fascinating to me, like the fear of a parent. That you want to please your father in that case and usurp the throne, kind of elbowing your way to the throne. How money and power can transform people into something that I guess they wouldn't think that they could become like that, if you know what I mean. Once you get that type of nugget of an idea, you just kind of freebase your way throughout the rest of the story.
One
sick to marrow and I love Europe. They like coming from Sweden. They're Europe, something that like a national treasure. We're super proud of Europe, and I always loved their music. Always loved it. I always loved Joey's voice, and over the years we kind of ran into each other every now and then. And he came over for lunch at my house, and I was like, the studio's on downstairs, and I knew I had this part that I knew would fit his voice. In fact, Joe, there's a song on downstairs that like I would, if you would consider maybe singing a few lines. And he was like, yeah, let's do it. Put it on the microphone. And I was like, oh, I don't have any lyrics, which would have been ace if I just could have written something. But the concept was not even, I hadn't even started with the lyrics. So I thought, oh shit, I have to write something good first. But then once it was done, he's back in London. He lives in London. So I emailed like, okay, got the lyrics. You still up for it? And he's like, yeah. Send the lyrics, send the part. And he sang it. And it was awesome. The funny thing is that Ian and Joey are in the same track. So Ian is doing the spoken word thing. That's kind of punctuated by Joey's kind of lamenting screams. So it's awesome to have them two on the same track. It's like a dream come true in a way.
He's a magnificent drummer, and I mean, he's not only that he's very young, you know, but he plays so mature, and he's really on it, and he can really master the full circle of, I mean, the technical aspect is like for him so easy, but he never lets that be like a downfall of the feel. He has a very good feel, and he swings, it's earthy.
He really got something to bite in. He's been practicing these songs for a long time, and he managed just to nail everything. And it's mind-blowing how difficult these drum patterns are. Because Mikael, he writes that stuff very carefully before recording. And he has nailed every little ghost note and everything and took it to his own level.
It's great. I mean, since he came in the band, it's been like energy injection for everybody. And you need that, you know, after so many years doing this. And he's definitely adding so much to the band, to this band, musically and chemistry and everything. So we are really, really happy.
The chemistry automatically improves when somebody wants to be there. And Waltt wants to be here. He comes in with a smile. He comes in with the most outrageous, insane drumming that you ever heard. One of our best mates and the guy that worked with us, Sami, played with us throughout the summer festivals. Sami said, get Waltt instead. Get Waltt instead of me, he said. So of course I called up Waltt and he said yes.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, playing wise, it's all that I ever wanted to do. Like it's got all the styles, like from blast beats to playing with brushes, and so it's very wide range of different kind of dynamics and yeah, challenges, which I like.
He listens, he follows. I even heard things that we were discussing in the control room, like he was actually adding things, to the vocals, which is, I guess, not all the drummers in the world are thinking about that.
I've called him from a beach. It sounds complete rock star. And yeah, he was a fan. I mean, I don't think we're his favorite band in the world, but I think to play in this band would be his favorite band in the world. I'm not sure about the music. Maybe this album, because he's on it. It's his favorite record now. I'm not sure. He definitely respects the band. He told me he expected the call. He was waiting for the call. He knew it was coming.
I knew Mike a little bit beforehand. Of course, we have a lot of mutual friends. Of course, I had thought about maybe contacting Mike or something like that before he called me, and when he finally did, it was absolutely no-brainer to say yes to the gig.
He always liked the band, at least that's what he tells us, and respected us, and the musicianship and the adventureness of the music, and that we never, we kind of stray from our own sound every now and then, do different things, and we don't like to stand completely still, at least. So I think he likes that it's kind of pushing his own abilities as a drummer.
But he also said if he had heard it 1 month before the recording, he would have turned it down. This was too difficult, so it's been practicing a lot.
Everybody's so passionate about playing and still evolving as musicians after 30-odd years. So it's very inspiring for me.
I think it was done in like 2.5, 3 days, it's immense achievement because it's very, very, very intricate. And of course, he broke a sweat, but we didn't feel like it was even an effort, and it was just like, great.
It's mind-boggling how anyone can play like that. I can't understand it. It's almost like a dream, if you know what I mean. It's not human, but it is human. It's got everything. I couldn't find anything to, like, he was lecturing me like, I'm off here. I'm off in that beat. I could do that better. Really? Could you? And yeah, he did it better.
So his contribution in this band, and not to say the least on this album, is fantastic. He's an incredible drummer. We're happy to have him aboard.
We're in a happy place with him. He's fucking awesome.
Yeah, like I said, it's definitely a dream gig for me.
To have Ian Anderson coming in and playing a part of the role is, unbelievable, really. Yeah. When we did the Heritage album, Mike had an idea that he would play the flute. But I don't think he got hold of Ian. But luckily enough, we got a hold of a fantastic Swedish flute player called Björn Gison Lind, who sadly then passed away not so long after. But he did a part fantastic. And but this time around, it happened.
I love Ian Anderson. I think he's a genius. I think I like pretty much all of the Jethro Tull records, and everything is done is, if it's not fantastic, it's at least interesting. Like, he never goes below that, as far as I'm concerned. And of course, he's sitting on a pile of masterpieces that he's written. And he's a great flutist, great vocalist, great everything. Just great band leader, I guess. When we did the Heritage record, I wanted like a flute solo on that record. And it's like, okay, 3 guys like I admire, and Ian was top of the list. And second on the list was a guy called Björn Gison Lind, and third on the list was a guy called Carl Axel Dominic. I think I might have emailed all 3, but 2 of them, only one replied, saying no, and that was Björn Gison Lind, who was second on the list. And he is quite well known in Sweden for being, well, a solo artist. He had lots of he worked a lot with ABBA. He worked with Björn and Benny from ABBA for the chess musical, for instance, orchestrating things. You know, he's kind of orchestrator, arranger, and a great flutist, great pianist, great musician. One of the top dollar musicians in Sweden during the late 60s into the 70s and 80s. He replied saying no, and I was like, I'll try again. You know, because it was the only option I had left. Like, the other 2 guys didn't reply. So I ended up talking him into doing the Heritage thing. And this I've been asked about a couple of times over the years. The Ian Anderson at the Heritage record, and I did some interview where this was brought up, and I told the story that I emailed Ian Anderson, and that fucker didn't reply. And that particular interview was seen by either Ian or the management. So I got an email from the management saying, Ian would love to play with you. And this was just a couple of, well, maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago or something. I hadn't even started writing the record, but I started writing it having that in mind. Now's the time for Ian Anderson. And sure enough, you know, I got in touch with the management, got in touch with Ian, sent the tracks that I had in mind, worked out the spoken word parts. I recorded a guide thing for him. He sent it back and just read them with that type of authority that he conjured up the image of this main character. So it's awesome. It only took me, 15 years or something.
Being the voice of the album, you know, like the narrative parts, which is unbelievably good. He's like a professional actor, you know. And then, of course, this that comes in, it's like so epic. You have to pinch yourself a little bit to actually think is this really happening? So I think we are all very, very, very happy that he's part of this album, and it's an honor.
In Cauda, Venenum was like the I felt I had arrived, like kind of finished an idea in a way. I was aiming for so to speak beauty with that record. I wanted to write beautiful music. And then it's debatable whether it is or not, but to me it felt like, okay, I'm happy with that and kind of done, time to move on. And we had personnel changes in the band. We had Waltt coming in on drums and Axe going out, and I felt a bit like maybe it's time for something heavier. Maybe it's time to do the death metal vocals again, that type of thing. Mendes has always been like I always had a great second opinion on things, and sometimes first opinion. But he was also like, yeah, we're cool to do something heavier. You know, maybe you should consider it. And it's like, yeah, considering. Could have been either way, to be honest, you know, for this record. But we did the last thing we did before we went on a hiatus to write this record was due to COVID, a bit too late of a 30th anniversary when I was touring, and we sent out like a selection of songs that people could vote for, and that we would play live. So we ended up taking that on tour and played some songs that never played before, and some songs that we haven't played in a long time. Many of which were those kind of screaming songs, and they have always been in the set list, some of those songs, you know, ish. And I just enjoyed it. I felt my voice was strong. I felt, you know, I had the concept in mind. How do you make what's the sound of this story? Like, what's the sound of the main character? Yeah, death metal, you know, it's supposed to be a bit like that, you know. Maybe it could work. I wanted to see if I still had it. I hadn't recorded a death metal. Well, I had done some stuff for another project, but yeah, it was a while since I found out what that type of voice sounded like in a studio environment. So I was kind of interested and keen. To a certain extent, I wanted to prove myself to the naysayers that say, he's over, he can't do it anymore. I can. It sounds good to me anyways. You know, maybe they will hear something it's not good or whatever, but to me it sounds as it should. I never said I'm never gonna do that again, so but yeah, I guess, you know, it's a certain, like, maybe I'm insecure, I want to prove people that I can do it. But it was fun. I was struggling in the beginning with both music and like lyrics, and like, what should I, like, do I have that? I don't listen to that type of music anymore. Is there a place for it? Is this the time for it? And that kind of stuff. But once I got into it and did the first song, I was like, love it. I like it. And that's all you need. That's all I need anyways, to continue. So if people, I mean, it doesn't matter what I say, people are still gonna, some call it a comeback, or, you know, finally, that type of thing. Which in a way makes me happy that it means so much to them, that type of vocals. And I agree. I like it's easier. That voice makes it easier for me to step away and listen to someone else, because I don't sound like that. You know, I don't, you know, ask if my kids want like boiled or fried eggs in the morning with that voice. That's a different side, you know. I felt, why the hell not? Nothing's going to hold us back. If that's what we need to do, that's what we need to do. In this case, that's what we did. Men ja, med lite tur kanske vi hinner lira in. När kom grejerna? Vad är imorgon kväll grejerna går? Så då får vi
18 pass här.
Ja, men vi får packa upp. Break the spell. Plunge in darkness. A side bid farewell. Hur gör man på Purge the Darkness? Purge the Darkness. Purge the Darkness. Eller hur? Bra så att man kan säkert tuna dem i... Ja. So wear it always.
So wear it always.
Precis.
So wear it always, wear it. Där. Wear it.
Fast du ska inte hålla, du ska köra. Wear it, wear it.
So wear it.
Riktig handfull gubbe.
Wear it with love. Vad fan är frågan om? I have to take a break on this one.
Language mythology.
Men jag känner också att jag inte har sjungit på
Det låter jättebra.
The golden arches.
Argus. Golden Argus.
Ja, just det. Arches. Golden arches. McDonald's. Golden arches. Okej. Backwards mythology. Train the well. Burn the orchard. Break the spell. Purge the darkness. As I bid farewell.
Dan take. Proprietor of the Lion's Share. Proprietor.
Proprietor.
Ja.
Men jag fattar inte rytmiken sen.
Proprietor of the Lions. Proprietor of. Du håller liksom proprietor of.
Proprietor of
Ja,
the Lion's Share.
precis.
The Lion's Share.
Yeah, I don't know your range. Like if you have a really high voice.
No, I'm very mid.
So wear it always.
Yeah, I can do that.
Wear it with love.
Wear it with love.
So wear it always.
So wear it always.
That worked for
Då
you.
kan du ta den mörka då. Drain the well.
Drain the well.
Burn the orchard.
Burn the orchard.
Break the spell.
Break the spell.
Purge the darkness.
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 Ja. Side bid farewell.
Side bid farewell.
It's only that one line where you change the note. Otherwise it's straight.
Right.
You're a natural. awesome. You're gonna get more work.
Headset. Live.
Live.
Ja, det finns
Hoppa
det.
över.
Story.
Is this the first time we have to hold back?
Oh yeah.
And in the end of the day, we're trying to do like crazy. Fun.
I don't think he's ever been recorded in his voice. Not with this band anyway.
I've never recorded my voice either.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You're natural. I mean, we're pitch.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
It blended
Pitch and
really
rhythm,
well
no
with,
word.
with Mike's.
Yeah, and also a nice character.
Yeah.
Yeah. A very nice, like a solo.
Na,
Ja. Na 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 na.
Vanquish mythology.
Vanquish mythology.
Vanquish mythology. Drain the well. Where it always. Where your love. Golden Argus. The daughter of love. Proprietor of the lion's share.
Oh yeah, dude.
Right on.
Fan vad härligt.
Lion's share.
Sounds great.
It's gonna be awesome.
You're right, Queen, sweet,
Oh, yeah.
you know. It's,
Oh yeah, we're one of those. Okay, what should we look at next then? Because that song is kind of finished.
As part of paragraph 7, I bestow upon you both a number of artifacts of immense personal value to me. Wearing the family crest, I hope they can serve as a reminder of the fragility of heritage.
There's shitloads of really good artists that could visualize our sound or a concept as good or maybe better than Travis. But as far as I'm concerned, like me and Travis together, we come up with some cool shit together. As far as I'm concerned, we always did great covers together. I mean, usually I come up with an idea and he does the rest. So I do like a children's drawing of like a rough composition, I guess. In this case, like the drawing, I can't believe how he can decipher the idea, but somehow he can. I mean, we've been working together since our 4th album, Still Life. And in those days, he basically threw a cover at us. I was like, that's awesome, let's do that. But especially since, Watershed maybe. Yeah, Watershed, I had ideas. And he made it happen, so to speak. So I guess it's obvious because it ain't broke, don't fix it type of thing.
Child in force There's a road that leads to home, stories never told. A story never told. A man that saved a child. His withered heart on hold, beating for a life. There's a road that leads to home in storm.